But
I mean, is it really picking
only
and choosing?
It really is, in a sense.
Well, okay. See, here's my problem with online dating. And I'm not saying anyone who has done online dating or anything is like, oh, you're the problem. Like,
yeah, no.
I've heard some very romantic stories with online dating, but I could go online and tell you that I am like 5'8" and
Make
super ripped, and from the photos you see, it's like he does look super ripped. And then you get there and it's just like, oh, this is not who I thought you were. Like,
yeah, it's called catfish.
I'm not even saying necessarily catfishing. I'm just saying, like, stretch the truth. Like, you kind of just itty bitty, like, hey, so I say I'm super nice and love giving to charity. Well, I hit a dog on the way here. Like, okay, that was a little extreme, but you get what I'm trying to, like, say.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to lay down. Yeah. Like, I could say I hang around criminals all day, and I scream and yell at people all the time. I could be describing my local life. I could be a drug lord, you know, or I could be working in corrections, and that's literally my job.
Can you say that on the video? Do I need to bleep that?
I don't care. I'm not gonna give out, like, I'm not gonna dox myself and tell them where I work, but I work in corrections. You know?
I just don't know, like, your job's policy, so I'm not sure if I was allowed
like
to
I said,
keep that in.
I'm just saying my profession. I work in corrections. I'm not saying, like, who's in the facility, whatnot. Don't worry about it.
Alright. Cool. Sorry, moving on.
Yeah. Regardless, it's like, with that mentality, you gotta be mindful on what you're getting versus what they're actually, who they actually are.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say, yeah, I've had a couple of exes in the past who didn't treat me so well. You do not have to be the knight, like, you don't have to be Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be the knight in shining armor. Just
no,
kind of be there, and it probably would go fine.
Okay, rule number 10: don't be a white knight.
How do I phrase this? I think there's a time to be like the knight in shining armor, where it's like, hey, if they need like comforting, then yeah.
There's a time to be a. There's a time and a place to be a comforter.
Don't just like rush it and be like, I'll fix your issues, but like, yeah.
Yeah. Don't be like that. Don't be. Oh yeah, I can see you're sad. Let's go. You know, let's go spend money and act a fool because I have that type of money and I'm really into you. Don't be like that. You're better than that. Because at the end of the day, the more money you spend on somebody, the more money you're giving to somebody else's wife. That's what I'm thinking. Dates are meant to be exploratory. They're meant to figure out what connects, what doesn't connect. No one's going to find a perfect match. I'm sorry to say this. There is no such thing as a perfect match at all.
You're telling me I haven't met my ultimate soulmate?
No, you have not. You're gonna fight over things. People have differing views on everything. You're not going to find a perfect match.
That's true. That's why I had two.
But if you are willing enough, to accept the flaws within each other, and willing enough to say, you know what, you can be an asshole sometimes, but I love you because you treat me well. And even though I know I can be an asshole and you can be an asshole and I want to make this work, that's what a relationship's all about.
Again, going back to like the main core I was talking about earlier, just communicate.
Communicate.
Talk to them. Figure out what their actual interests are. And
women are not property. They are not something that you own.
No, they're the same as any other person. Like, if here was something that I was taught, like that my brother told me. If you wouldn't treat a normal person that way, don't treat the girl that way. Like, if it's okay to be like romantic sometimes, where it's just like, hey, we're going on a date, so I'm gonna get like flowers and stuff. That's fine. Because I doubt you're going to, like, go up to your friends and just be like, dude, I bought you like a bouquet.
Like, if you, would you buy your homies a Coke?
I'd buy you a Coke.
See? Do the same thing. Would you, well, I know you would, but would you buy me flowers?
Would I buy you flowers? You know what? If I honestly was like for it, yeah. Like I've even done that before. Yeah. There was one time where I went out and got like a whole thing of roses. So I was just like, hey, who wants roses? Like I was just passing them out to people.
Yeah, exactly. If you're that type of person that's super giving, it's okay to be giving. Just don't be overbearing with it.
Don't flaunt it. Like it's nice to do something special every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mock Sammy because there's like certain things where she'll be like, "Oh, you don't do this that often." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but if I do it so often, you'll get used to it." And
exactly.
And it's funny because like at first she was like, "That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't you want me to?" But then like, say we go on like a really nice date, all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, I opened the car door or something." Which I do every now and then, but it's like, I'll do something like that, and it kind of makes her more excited. She's like, ooh, like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do not do things out of kindness expecting a...
result.
No, like expecting something in return.
Well, yeah, like a result, like the favor returned kind of thing.
Exactly.
You phrased it just better than I did.
If you're that type of person, I'm sorry, well, people don't just give you shit for free. You gotta earn it, right?
I want to agree, but again, it's one of those things where it's like, I've had experiences where it's like, there have been people like that, where it's just like, that's how their like relationship kind of worked, and it was just like, hey, if that worked for you, like, good on it.
And I get where you're coming from, and I'm not saying you're wrong in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, like, keep in mind the people that you keep around, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if... to be romantic with somebody is to, you know, treat them special, but also treat them like a human. You don't want to put them on a pedestal, nor do you want to treat them like they're below you.
There's a show that I watch, and one of like the things that they mention a few times is that how you should treat a woman is you treat them like a princess, you treat them like a person, then a princess, then a goddess, then a person again. And the whole like point of the saying that they go throughout the show with is pretty much, it's like you treat them special, and then they'll notice that when you start getting closer, that it's just who you are, and you guys actually bond together. It's not just, hey, I think you're hot, so I'm gonna treat you special compared to other people. Like, grow the bond with that person, and then it will just kind of come naturally, where it's like, hey, this is who I am, this is who you are, and we like each other. Like,
at the end of the day, your end goal in a relationship should never just get laid and call it quits. You don't want to just... if you want a relationship, you want to find someone that truly means something to you, that makes you want to be a better person, and make you accept some things that you can't change.
Gingy, I'm sorry to break the subject, but I cheated on you, and so did Sir Jeffrey. We're in your bed. The silent treatment's not helping. Hey. Oh. I'm going this way. I don't know how to get off. Oh, I got off! I'm gonna see myself now.
I'm willing to forgive you. I will forgive you as the person, but I will not forgive your actions.
All right.
Okay, going back on topic. I actually felt betrayed. Wow.
I'm sorry. I went to ride him. It looked
you-
fun, and then
No. If you wanted a fucking saddle so bad, I could just give you one.
Well, no, it was just along the lines of
One-time deal.
I wanted to ride him, and well,
I'm sure you did.
it turned into going to your bed, and then he was standing on it, and yeah, no, I didn't know what to do.
Typical. Just typical.
Typical best friend behavior. I see. You come into my house and ride on my pig. No, you did not.
But yeah, going back onto topic. Well, that's not good.
No, I fixed it.
Okay, he was about to leave, so I was like, uh-oh. Going back onto topic. Gotta remind myself where I went off. Women are not property, and you should never be property to women. You should never be a line in someone else's book, is what I'm trying to say. But unfortunately, it happens. Some people are going to use you, some people are going to abuse you mentally, physically, whatever. It happens to both sexes, and it happens to everyone. People are going to mistreat you, and you're going to learn from it. It doesn't mean you should be closed off and shallow and treat others the way you've been treated. Because it's not fair to you, and it's not fair to the people that you're dating.
Nah, agreed.
I've had a very fair share of abusive relationships. Like some relationships that if I given the chance, I would have never, ever have attempted to be with them. But I can also say with experience that because of those relationships I've been through, I know exactly what I want in a relationship and exactly what I don't want from a relationship. And it makes me I would say a higher value target in the dating scene.
Higher value target. Okay. Let me get this straight, and maybe I'll throw some, like, what I think you're trying to say in there. Okay,
yeah, go ahead. I have a poor way of wording myself, so...
Oh, don't worry, I do too all the time. But, like... Sorry, higher target. I feel like that's not the right phrase. But,
it's
like...
definitely not the right
I feel like
phrase.
what you were kind of trying to say is, you've learned from past mistakes, and you've grown as a person because of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, because I feel like maybe I misunderstood this, don't stop growing as a person. Like, if there's a curveball, later in, like, the relationship, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-mm. It's never... No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying... I'm saying... Let me just formulate this really quick. Let me actually give some thought out. Going through those types of experiences has made me a lot wiser in what I seek in a relationship.
Yes, okay.
And you know, with wisdom comes, you know, the chance to learn more. Because you never truly stop growing as a person until you die.
I mean, you're going to be learning things your whole life. Which is why I always thought it was funny when people were like, I can't wait to get out of school and then just, like, be done with learning. It's like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That awakening is not going to be nice for you once you figure out. That's not how life works.
Exactly.
Like, I just growing in general, like, I'll even use YouTube, for example, because that's been a big portion of literally what I've been doing for the past month or two, is I'm slowly just learning how to make the videos hopefully better, like, how to kind of play out my time. It's like, do I do everything all in one day? Do I shoot a whole video and edit everything? The answer to that is no, never do that. It's dreadful. I did it. You'll want to die at the end. But, like, a lot of things that I keep seeing is a lot of people are like, yeah, don't post, like, every single day. So far, I've done great with it, but that's because I record for, what, 2-3 hours at a time, and then I just kind of put it out in parts. And so, that I just find it funny when people are like, yeah, like, I'm gonna stop growing and learning. You won't. And that ties in with relationships. You could be 5 years into a relationship, and the person that you love can throw a whole curveball at you, and it's just like, oh, I was not aware this was a thing. Like,
that's a very Chad way of saying it. Yeah, way better than what I was saying. But I was also gonna voice what I was trying to also point out is I have a lot. I'm not saying I don't have a complete understanding of what I want out of a relationship, but I have a higher.
You have like more of an idea of what you're looking for. You're not going in blind anymore.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like, hey, this girl's cute. I don't care about her personality. It's more of a, I think you're attractive because I've seen a couple of the things that you've done. Like, I don't know if I'm the only person that does this, because I know it's gonna sound weird. But, like, I pay attention to a lot more of the actions and the personality of people before I try to approach them.
No, I do the same.
It's, for me, it's weird. For me, it's really weird because I just don't. I don't know how to describe this because it's gonna sound weird.
You
whatever
psycho,
I put it out.
Not psycho, but like you kind of analyze them. So what you would, I'm assuming that you're trying to say is like, when you're like looking for someone, you're just kind of like, hey, how does this person react? How do they feel? Do they have the same interests as me? Like, you analyze that.
You get a feel for the person. But
it's something I feel like deeper. A lot of people do without realizing.
For me, it's a lot deeper. For me, at least, it's more like, okay, so this person reacts in this situation. All right, well, I wonder why they got like that. You know, let's just say someone makes a very off-color joke and they flip their shit out. I want to know why they flip their shit out instead of, okay, this plus this equals this. It's more of a, well, what caused him to get to what's this plus this plus this, you know?
No, I get that. It's like what I was trying to do earlier with your fear, where I was like, hey, how did this line up? Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And with that being said, it's...
We don't have an iron? Oh.
An iron?
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, it's... I tend to pay attention a lot more closely to the actions and the way they treat other people as a good, like, let's just say music. Music's my go-to thing. I pay attention to the music and I pay attention to the lyrics. and then I listen to the lyrics and I'll be like, hey, so I realize you like this band. Have you ever heard this song? And use that as an opener.
Yeah.
And then I'll try, having those deep conversations with people really gets two people to bond very well. It's a very really.
It's a bonding
I don't
experience.
It's a bonding experience, exactly. I'm trying to go into psychology when I'm older, so this is just something that I do kind of on the daily. But with that being said, I'll be like, so I kind of realized you played the song a little bit, so mind telling me what it's about? And he's like, oh, well, where'd you hear it from? Why do you listen? And you just, it's like, I hate this word, but I call it probing.
Okay, I could see why you wouldn't like using that word.
Yeah, I call it probing. I probe a little bit just to figure out some information.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
You figure out what's going on, pretty much.
Yeah. And I figure out what's going on without asking directly, like, did someone abuse you?
Yeah, that's probably not a good opener.
Exactly. Like, you don't want to share that type of information. I make them share it when they're ready, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you let them share info as it goes. I mean, like, the first time that me and you ever really hung out, I don't even know how we got onto the conversation, but me and you had a very deep/darker conversation.
Yes, we did.
And it was like one of those things that I even remember, like, to this day, where you were just like, I have zero clue why I just told you any of that info. And I was like, I don't know, like... But, like, we
exactly.
just kind of started going, and at one point it was just like, hey, I feel like I can share this with you, like...
Yeah, exactly. And the sooner you get to know people, the deeper that gets. Someone may not be too open to share that type of information, because it's a closely guarded secret. They may feel embarrassed or whatnot, and that's understandable. There's still some secrets to this day that I swore to myself I'm taking to the grave.
Well, yeah, everyone's gonna have their secrets, and that's fine.
Yeah, but with that being said, I don't want to know everything about you. People have their closely guarded secrets, and that's how it is. But the things that we're more comfortable with sharing with that special person, that's what building a connection and what building a relationship can be like. I've learned a lot about people, dating at least. And, there are some things that even, like, in the context of this conversation that, like, have you been abused? A lot of people have a fucked up past, and it's
I mean.